Okay, round two, day 213. You're catching me after only about 2.5 hours of sleep last night because I stayed up trying to cook this meal for Spain in honor of Spain. Even though we didn't get any Spanish blessings, I did it anyway because Spain has a surprising amount of vegan options and vegetarian options. That's why they have such high life expectancy. Is the Mediterranean diet has less meat, a lot of olive oil, and smaller portions of meat when they eat it, and it's high in omega-3. So I'm finishing off what I couldn't eat last night because I stayed up till 4 in the morning cooking it. I have some essential fats that are kind of missing in some of the meals, but we have some gazpacho left, which you can see I'm almost done it, and we have ajo blanco, which is delicious. And you can see I have my paella here. My stove is all destroyed. My plates are destroyed. We have some churros left over here. I'll be finishing this today, and yeah, we have 1,000 blessings left. So lots to do, lots of things in the news as well, as you probably know. You can see my stand here, my setup, because I stream these, and hopefully we can make some videos out of them on how to make gourmet vegan food, even if you have to make everything from scratch, which takes time. And it took me like 12 hours to cook everything in the Spanish meal, and it's a simple meal. It's just that things kept breaking, like my bowls are melting. We snapped a measuring cup and just a whole bunch of stuff, right? Like there used to be a handle on that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm in the poverty trap, but I'm holding on. And if we can do it down here, we can do it anywhere. We're launching God's government, as you know. In the news this morning, there was an article saying that there's people being released from jails here in Canada who are extreme fundamentalists religiously. And there's this ethos in Canada that we believe in sort of more rehabilitation rather than just locking people up. If you lock people up, the studies show that, if you treat a criminal like a criminal, they become a hardened criminal. And the recidivity rates, the reoffending rates are higher. Texas learned that problem in the States. So we're having people leave the prisons wanting to, not denouncing violence in the name of their religions and all these things, and the attack in Australia, looks bad on Islam, but all the religions have gone through stages of this. Not all of them. I think Jainists didn't go through it, but a lot of the big ones have. And instead of blaming and pointing the finger, there's a rationality to their arguments, and our human rights point to it. And God is the greatest point to being here. So they're not going to give it up. And if they're honest to their faith, they can't give it up. Like, look at my hair here. I got so much grease and stuff because I was running my hands through my hair. Anyway, we've cured baldness, so I'm just in time. If we live through the mega crisis. But anyway, staying on point, the way to do real rehabilitation is to use the deeper universal logic that gets people to see the principledness that these religions are trying to do, but in a higher ethic. And this way, the rehabilitation is not indoctrination. It's a rational process that transcends the current rational reasons of not just our legal system, but even religious consciousness. That's an essential step to grasping the truth as God. So you can't get rid of that. But we're raising faith to certainty now, which is like eternal laws that are perfectly understood in our consciousness, even though it seems like that's impossible because we're not perfect creatures. We're in the imperfect world, right? There's a perfect side of you. And the soul in this religious spiritual language is touching on it. But there's a rational, logical basis, especially in this universal logic that we know is the solution, and we're going to teach it to you. In fact, today was our best ever living meeting. We did a lot of things today. We have a couple of accreditations working. We got accreditation squared, which we're using universal logic to teach. We had somebody ask for assistance in a loan because they want to come do the trainings and buy laptops and things like that, especially in developing countries. But we're about wise love, though, not blind love. We're not just going to give money to people who are stuck in dead consciousness and have made choices that have gotten them into a dead spirit. So we're going to check. We have checks now for wise love and making sure we're not abandoning anybody, because we've taken the vow of I've taken the vow of unabandonment for everyone, criminals, anybody. So this is the new profound inner government that needs to happen, with a wiser kind of rehabilitation program that just throwing a Bible or thinking you can override the Quran, when these individuals have been trained since birth to believe that the Quran is the perfect word of God. Same with Christians. Jesus is 100% God, 100% man. When people are on that level, death, physical death is nothing. Are you going to burn in eternity? Or, like, that's why you can't change their minds with that limited logic. You need eternal logic. Subspecie aeternitatis, as Spinoza sort of called it. You need to come at this from the perspective of God, because that's the level that these individuals are operating at. And in one way, it's a good thing, but in another way, in our sick society, it can turn into aberrant behavior and violence and a whole bunch of bad stuff. So we need to mediate that through these new ever-living meetings. And we did a wonderful job today. Great job to our Nigerian crew, really great job. And to our Pakistani crew now, the timers are being improved. I think we're about to double our numbers. So once you get this doubling happening, that's the non-linear effect that happens when you have universal logic, when you're designing a governance system to universal logic. And I'm making it clear to any legal scholars, like there's lawyers watching this. We just had this high risk management guy check out my LinkedIn profile just the other day, because 10,000 people I think saw my legal post on Reddit that AI used AI to like tell me where I should post it so that I wouldn't get deleted, and it was right on most of them. And yeah, that got some attention from these professional firms that protect high prestige people and wealthy companies. And I see you guys, and I've taken the vow of unabandonment for you risk management guys of Canada. And so, we're going to work our way through this. But you're dealing with the Messiah here, and I will return to the goodness in you, even if you don't know what you're doing, or you're doing it in a bad way, or you're probably doing the best that you can. And we have a better way, though. But risk management is a part of that. And that's why we've legally are starting to structure things so that we can't be stopped with normal legal arguments. Now that I've been in the court for 200 days, we've structured into 3 parts. And we're switching the namings and everything all over. But One World Spirit is what we're promoting here, and we're taking funds to fund my meals. The Spanish meal is funded by, people that love me, my acquaintances, friends, family members, and these people across the world who believe that we're in a mega crisis together too, and want to support my well-being as part of the change we want to see in the world. We're being the change we want to see in the world. We're not lobbying others. We can inspire people to come and learn from us, but when you're like in this non-lobbying mode, personal mode, you can't actually pressure your governments. Even in a nonprofit, even if 20% of your work is to pressure, like if you're planning to pressure, you still can't do that. So okay, we're back. So what I've done instead is split the movement into 3 sections that are legally distinct enough to have different functional legal roles. And that's why we don't take any money out of One World Spirit and put into New World Spirit, which is the Canadian version or the United States version. Each one has their own version, as you heard me talk about before. And then there's the international one, Fair World Spirit, which is what my TikTok and YouTube and all those should be migrating over. And we only pressure international bodies because that's legal. You can't do that with nations necessarily. But none of these are incorporated yet because it's all just personal, like me and my meals. Nobody's joining me in hunger strikes professionally or anything yet. And yeah, it's not normal charity because we're not donating meals to other people. They're actually doing something for me on my meal, so I can get off the political hunger strike and then heal up. So it's well thought through, but there's a lot more to do, and we could use some professionals in these fields and teaching you some universal logic so you can take your technical skills, your particular skills, we call them, and bring them into the right wayfulness of an inner governance. Okay, so our meeting was amazing. I was just in flow state despite only having 2.5 hours of sleep. I'm going to eat some of this. I'm going to take a nap and then continue on. Destiny awaits. So stay blessed. There'll be more updates to come. And if you want to get accredited or learn these world-class facilitation skills that I've been teaching people for free, then you can come to our meetings twice a day, every day. And you'll learn to take the vow of unabandonment, love thy enemies, love thy neighbors, and hold that heart-centered compassion as you take on the pain of the world and the ignorance of it. You got to be really skilled at these levels because one wrong word can cause a nuclear dialectic. We call it an explosion of cathartic energy from the toxic society and the mega crisis we're in. Okay, more tomorrow. Stay blessed. I'm going to eat this gacho ajo blanco and this gazpacho.